He's going deep. He's got it for the touchdown. Let's go! Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fire to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Dolphins! Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. 1, 2, 3, let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. And we are back here for another one as we get ready to preview Tua's time to shine in primetime this weekend. The Dolphins and the Patriots. Can't wait. We got a lot to talk about. My keys to victory, my matchup to watch. Well, the weather report, one of the weeks where it's worth keeping an eye on it as it progresses. A lot in the injury report to discuss on both sides of the football. Just a lot to go over today as we get you prepared for Sunday's night game. Remember, I'll be live just after 8 o'clock because I believe kickoff's around 8:25. I'll be live just after 8 o'clock. Get you ready with the inactives and all that. And then we are going to do, even though it's a Sunday night, and I know some of y'all got work the next morning, we are going to do the postgame show. The fifth quarter postgame show will happen right after the game is done. So it's going to be a long one Sunday night, but I hope you'll tune in. And, man, hopefully we'll be celebrating a victory. Over 150 of you already in the room. Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. As, man, we are on our way to 13K. We are well past the 12.1 mark, and we are chugging along, baby. So let's keep hitting that like button. Let's keep hitting that subscribe button if you're new. It costs nothing. Also, I haven't done one since I got back from vacation. I'm going to do it tonight, so it'll be up late tonight. And if you're waking up early Saturday morning, I will have my first 3 takes video since I've been back. I'm kind of blending it because I did have 3 takes for last week. So I'm going to blend those into this 3 takes. So it might end up being 6 takes, but I'm going to have the new episode of 3 takes. And I still have stuff I want to talk about from the last 3 takes. That's going to be over to this. So that'll be for Patreons. And I still haven't decided whether I'm going to be bringing over 3 takes throughout the season to channel members, but this is not an inside info one. It's more of its takes. So channel members, you will not be missing much. Also, hopefully it's done tomorrow, but my special little thing I've been working on for Patreon members and channel members, hopefully that'll be debuting on Sunday. I'll keep y'all posted on that, but it's being worked on, and it should be finished up tomorrow. So, listen, we got a big game, division rival game. There's just a lot of layers, a lot of context to this. You know, can Tua stay undefeated against Bill Belichick? But before we get to all that, just because there's a brouhaha over the last 24 hours, 48 hours over on Twitter regarding Brian Flores. And the first thing I'm going to say is, A, why are we still talking about this man? Why is it still even a discussion right now with Brian Flores? That's the first thing I'm going to say. He's gone. We got a new culture. We wouldn't have traded for Tyreek, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey if we had Brian Flores. So why are we even talking about that man? You know what I mean? I don't know why people are wasting their breath. He's gone. I know there's people on all platforms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, that still white knight and defend this man. Listen, if you want to defend bad coaching and mediocrity, knock yourself out. But I'm looking on to something much brighter and much bigger, and that's our future under Mike McDaniel. All right? So I even played the clip. You know, I warned everyone. I found the date. It was June 25th, 2021, when I first came out on YouTube and warned everyone that Flores did not like Tua being shoved down his throat, quote unquote. I reported didn't wasn't happy with the Tua situation since they drafted him. And it's funny because when I posted the clip yesterday, just to show, I'd warned people years before the firing happened. And, it was heading into that 2022 season, right? And a 2021-2020 season, his final season. And I warned everyone that, I heard if it doesn't work out with Tua, that Flores and Greer could have been out of jobs. And the new head coach, Stephen Ross, wants is an offensive-minded guy who is either going to, A, continue to groom Tua, or B, if they get a new GM, pick a new quarterback with the GM. And it's funny because in that clip, I nailed exactly what the profile of what they found in Mike McDaniel. I didn't even remember that until I went back and clipped it up and posted it on Twitter and stuff. So, yeah, I was warning people in June 25th, 2021, Flores, how he didn't like Tua, how he didn't like the Tua situation, how he was on the hot seat, and the exact profile of what they're looking for in their next coach, which ended up fitting up exactly with what they're looking to McDaniel. Crazy clip when I went back and saw it, man. So, there's really no reason to discuss Flores. I mean, it's over. It's dead. Everyone needs to move on with their lives. I don't know why this guy keeps coming up. You got just people at each other's throats over a guy who's not even here anymore. Listen, it's bad enough when I tell you all that you got people over here burning bridges or with agendas or whatever the case they may be doing, trolling fans over players they're never going to meet. Right? It's like when you get these people who get so upset over players and just lose their mind. And, like you saw, I don't know if anyone saw what Vikings running back Alexander Madison was having to put up with. I mean, he had racist people hopping in to his DMs on Instagram, I believe it was, just throwing racial slurs at him over a football game and fantasy. Like, get out, touch grass, and get a life. I mean, what are we doing with our lives right now? You know what I mean? Like, we're heading into week 2. This is one of the most exciting season openers we've seen since Dan Marino was a Miami Dolphin. People shouldn't be rehashing the past and things that just don't matter anymore. So here's this is me telling people in Fins Nation who cling on to the past, get over it, move on. Because there's other people who cling to the past, right? They won't let certain things go about Tua or whatever the case may be, is when the kid's clearly grown and developed as a quarterback, and they'll still talk about things that happened, 2 years ago. It's the same people, Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar Jackson's this great quarterback. From what? His MVP season we're now 4 years removed from, and everyone still want to circle jerk over Lamar Jackson. Stop it right now. I said it before, I'll say it again. He was no Mike Vick. Okay, Mike Vick, that was your dude. And if Mike Vick never went to, it's just like if RG3 never got hurt. If Mike Vick never went to jail, man, Lamar Jackson wouldn't hold a candle to what Michael Vick was career if he never went to jail. So, but it's the same thing. People keep clinging on to past. Since I've entered this community in October 2019, I've told everyone, one of the rules with the NFL is, what have you done for me lately? That's one of the biggest things when it comes to money, player movement, whatever. Teams continuing to invest in players. And I don't want to hear about Lamar Jackson's MVP season 4 years ago. I don't want to hear about Flores because we're now 2 years removed from him, and our offense looks more potent than ever, and our defense is going to get its legs underneath. Like, I'm not worried about our defense at all. People forget, even though we were in the rebuild, right? How long did it take that first year defense to start getting in his groove? It took like 8 weeks. I want to say it took like 8 weeks, 7 weeks for our defense to start making some noise and such, right? We're getting threatened for tanking the game against the Steelers and all that such. But, and then look at when it came on. Our defense with Fitzpatrick on that magical run, that's the reason why we didn't get Burrow. Is because our defense started coming on in the second half of the season. And our offense, led by Fitzpatrick, we knocked the Patriots out, et cetera, right? So, I don't understand why people are on Twitter arguing and fighting with each other over Brian Flores. He's gone. People defending him, get over it. And people arguing with those people defending with him, say your point, say your piece. And honestly, people like that who defend mediocrity and bad head coaching, they're not even worth your time. Whether on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, they're not even worth your time. I block and move on, because anyone who defends, I'll say it right now, anyone who defends Brian Flores as a head coach, not as a defensive mind, but as a head coach, anyone who defends Brian Flores doesn't know ball. I mean, you guys got the first-hand account up here of Albert Wilson out of Nick Hicks' mouth. Albert Wilson telling Nick Hicks, hey, man, you had to walk down the hallways with your head down and couldn't make eye contact, and it was a toxic environment. And Albert Wilson saying he'd never been a part of something like that before. Man, don't even waste your time with people like that, all right? So I had to get that out of the way because this is a big thing on Twitter. Now, another thing I want to say, too, before we get into everything is here's Emmanuel Ogbah. Emmanuel Ogbah, this might be your week. This might be your time to, up that trade stock, but also make some noise and earn some of that money instead of robbing us without a ski mask and a gun. I mean, Emmanuel Ogbah, we're going to get into it with the injury report, but there is a potential here that Jalen Phillips is not going to be active on Sunday. It's going to be something that's going to develop over the weekend, and we're going to keep our eye on, obviously, but there is going to be a chance, and if that happens, that's going to mean more snaps for Emmanuel Ogbah. So, Emmanuel, you better be on your P's and Q's this weekend, my friend, because this is your chance. This might be your chance for you to make an impact. And we're waiting for it, baby. We're waiting for it. I mean, because, hell, let's be honest. Even if you don't stay, I want to get that trade value up. You know what I mean? Got to get that trade value up. Got to get that trade value up, gentlemen and ladies. So, continuing on here, Terron Armstead, the question that, Terron Armstead practiced today. He was on the injury report. From what I'm gathering, all indications are Terron Armstead's going to play this weekend. Now, could there be a last minute of, hey, let's just let him sit another week because we like what we saw from Kendall Lamb last week? Sure. I don't think it happens, and every indication is that Terron Armstead is going to play on Sunday. So there is that. Again, listen, if he's at 70, 75%, let him sit. If this man's over 80%, I agree. Fire it up. Let's get out there. But we are going to have, it's looking like our bookend is going to be back. Our bookend left tackle, our franchise left tackle, is going to be back on Sunday. And I'm going to be honest with you, with everything going on in terms of up front, they got some guys that can make some noise, right? Matt Judon can make some noise. We've seen Jawan Bentley give us problems in the back. Josh Uche's got a pretty good skill set. So we're going to need our guys in there. And, Devon Godshaw up the interior, he gets up for games like this. So we're going to need our hey, listen, I'll take us at full force with Armstead leading the way. Listen, Lamb, love what you did. Impressed the hell out of me last weekend. But, at 80%, we're talking about a top 5 tackle in the game here when he plays. So, we got a lot of good stuff and bad stuff to go over today because, man, that injury report, Jalen Phillips, man, I call that a lot of the bad stuff because he's going to be, if he's out this weekend, he's going to be missed, man. He's going to be missed because, and we'll get into all that, this could be a weekend. There's a lot of potential on the table for our front seven heading into this game. A ton of it. So, without further ado, let's start getting into things here because we do have quite a bit to cover. I got over 250 of you in the room. Please smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Let's get into it. Let's start off with the weather report because we got a lot to talk about with this. So, prime time. this is what the deal is, ladies and gentlemen. At kickoff through quarter 2, 3, and 4, there is a slight chance of showers. There's a chance of rain showers after 1 a.m., partly cloudy with a low around 58. Southwest wind 5 to 8 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is about 40%, so that's decent. Now, look at this cloud cover by the game. By quarter 4, it goes from kickoff, it's at 24%, and then by the end of the game, it's going to be 48%. We're going to have wind gusts from about 9 to 10 miles per hour, and it's going to be gusting in the southwest direction. Fahrenheit's going to drop from 65 to 60 by the end of the game. So for me being Canadian, I mean, you know, that's light work for me, but for all of you, Miami, that's like 18 degrees at kickoff, right? And I sure y'all ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't loving that. And then by the end of the game, it's going to be about 15.5 degrees Celsius. So shout out to the Watch Mister $10 donation. Says, Fins up, baby. Still riding on this W cloud. Hope you're all well. Go get him, Reason. Appreciate you, Watch Mister. I didn't know this man was on Twitter till last week, and he popped up. I gave him a follow back. That's the boy right there. Shout out to you, sir. So it's going to get cold, 65 down to 60, which is about 18 degrees Celsius, down to 15.5 degrees Celsius for all of you Canadians, because I know some of you are watching. And now, obviously, the question on everyone's mind is Hurricane Lee. What's the deal with Hurricane Lee? What's going to happen? Will it be impacted? Right? Because there is a tropical storm warning in effect for Boston, along with the rest of Massachusetts coast, ahead of ahead of the arrival. So, listen, the outer bands from Hurricane Lee are expected to arrive in New England beginning Friday and last through most of the day Saturday. So it's going to be Saturday. So while it could impact college games, the storm is expected to move away from New England and into Canada by Sunday afternoon. Despite the departure of the storm, though, like we just showed, gusty winds could still be around, and they're expecting 9 to 10 miles per hour around the 8:20 kickoff time. So we'll see how that goes. Shout out to John Green for becoming a Pro Bowl member. Appreciate you, sir. So listen, we all thought it was going to be disaster on Sunday. It looks like college games on the Massachusetts coast will be affected more than the actual game. Right now, the thing is, what's the condition of everything going to be in, right? Like, is power going to go down on Saturday, and there's going to be issues with the field. I don't know, right? Because this hurricane could knock out power. They're saying it could knock out power in like half a dozen states from Connecticut to Maine. And obviously we need that field to be in somewhat good shape for guys like Tyreek and such to operate, right? So, there could be impacts on the stadium. Shout out to Greg. Appreciate you for welcome to the Pro Bowl, man. Welcome to the Pro Bowl. Appreciate you for coming through. Aladino says, I wish it was colder. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. So, listen. Hurricane Lee, that's what everyone's talking about. Earlier in the last week, we thought it could impact the game on Sunday. It looks like Saturday games will be impacted a little bit more now. Could the stadium be impacted with a power outage on Saturday? I don't know. That remains to be seen. No one can predict that. But right now, it looks like we're just going to deal with some wind gusts and potential, tail end of the storm in terms of its 40% chance of precipitation, right? So we'll see. We'll see. The chances are Lee's going to be gone, and if anything, you get a little bit of a tail end. But like they said, it should be clearing out and moving into Canada by Sunday. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Rome Gray says the FSU game at BC may be affected. There you go. Yeah, college games I'd be more concerned about. University games I'd be more concerned about, right? For sure. All right, continuing on, man. Because, man, we got a lot to go over, and let's get into a juicy one here. The injury report, ladies and gentlemen. So, we got a bunch of questionables. Now, the one that you're all going to be, your eyes are probably all shifting to right now is, in fact, obviously, Jalen Phillips, because it shows limited all of a sudden Friday. Well, from what we understand, he has a back injury right now. Well, from what we understand, he sustained a back injury in practice. So, this late in the week, that's not good. That's not good. I mean, if it's serious, if it's serious, that's just not good, obviously. So, listen, we'll see how it all works out here. That back injury happened today. So, we'll see. Hopefully it's nothing too worrisome. Now, again, Armstead, he is expected. I'm expecting him to be back on Sunday. Elijah Campbell looks like he's trending towards potentially coming back as well. Now, when you look at New England, ladies and gentlemen, exactly, Rome Gray. Back injuries are really tricky, especially this late in the week. I agree. New England right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I said Jalen Phillips. This is a week where he's going to be pushing to get out there. He's going to be pushing to get out there. Trent Brown, concussion. Michael Onwenu, limited. City Sow did not practice. Cole Strange, limited all week. Now, David Andrews was removed, but that offensive line is banged up. That offensive line is in shambles right now, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, even Andrews coming back, let's be honest here. That's, he could be one bad move away. Especially it's a hamstring injury. We know how nagging those can be. So David Andrews, he's limited, removed from the list, but got to be easy on that hammy, right? Cole Strange, he's got a knee injury. City Sow, concussion. Trent Brown, concussion. Michael Onwenu, limited with an ankle. It's either concussion or a lower body injury. That's not that great, man. That is not good for the New England Patriots, but it bodes well for the Miami Dolphins. I would be the first to say that. That's for sure. So that is your official Friday injury report. We won't know anything until Sunday before the game when the inactives are released. That's what we know heading into Sunday. And, man, it's going to be very interesting. If Jalen Phillips can go, we talking about Armstead at 80%. Man, Jalen Phillips at 75%. If that line is banged up, could be a day. So Phillips will be worth continuing to monitor, as will the offensive line for the Patriots as we head in. So not just the Dolphins inactives, but we'll also be paying attention to the Patriots inactives on Sunday. A lot going on with that report. It's finally nice to run into another team that is dealing with it like we are, right? All right, continuing on. So this is how the two teams compare after just 1 week. In total offense, obviously the Dolphins have the number one total offense after putting up 536 yards and the number one passing offense to match. While the Patriots against the Eagles, who we all thought that defense would tighten up, they have the number 5 total offense, the number 4 passing offense. Both struggling with running the football when the Patriots have been known under the Belichick era for that to be really one of their strong points, right? Both averaging just over 70 and 76 yards. Under 80 yards is nothing to write home about, that's for sure. Now, in terms of scoring offense, 36 was good enough for third best in week 1 for the Dolphins, while the Patriots managed just 20 points, which was middle of the pack. Now, sacks allowed, big nothing but Krispy Kreme donuts for the Dolphins, zeros across the board, while the Patriots, they allowed 2 sacks on Sunday. Third down offense, the Dolphins have the number 9 third down offense after 1 week, converting at a clip of 44.4%, while the Patriots, they only converted at a third of the time at about 8, and that's good enough for 18th in the league. Total defense, this is where it gets interesting, though. Miami allowed 433 yards, which has them 31st right now, while the Patriots only allowed 251 to that Jalen Hurts Super Bowl offense. Only allowed 251, which is 9th best in the NFL. Passing defense, the Patriots, they only allowed 154 yards to Jalen Hurts, while the Dolphins allowed 199 to Justin Herbert. So, interesting. If you only allow 199 to Herbert, I'm going to put the under for Mac Jones. Rushing defense, the Dolphins, they're the worst in the NFL right now, allowing 234 yards. Patriots, right around the middle of the pack, allowing 97 yards last week. Now, I mean, you saw what DeAndre Swift, they didn't allow DeAndre Swift to do what he did yesterday, that's for sure. Scoring defense, the Patriots allowed 25 points. That's 24th in the NFL. The Dolphins allowed 34, which is 29th in the NFL. Sacks, the Dolphins got 3, as did the Patriots last week. Third down defense. So here we go. The Dolphins allowed a third down conversion clip last week of 60%, while the Patriots allowed a conversion of 30.8%. So that's the difference between a team ranked 31st after 1 week and 10th. In terms of takeaways, the Dolphins had 0. The Patriots had 1 last week. And in giveaways, both teams had 2. So really, when you look at how these teams stack up, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the defensive numbers on the Dolphins side, as well as the Patriots' offensive numbers, because I think the Dolphins, do I think Tua is throwing for 466? Probably not, but I do think 275 or more is definitely on the table. And which team is going to establish the run tomorrow? Both teams hovering in that 70-ish era, range. So interesting things to watch, especially when you got our run defense allowed what they allowed last week, and they kind of shut it down last week. They allowed under 100 yards, did the Patriots, right? So you got to give your props, man. And how's that? Both teams had 3 sacks last week. How's that going to work out, especially if Jalen Phillips can't go for the Dolphins? And the Patriots got 3 sacks last week, but the Dolphins' offensive line allowed 0 sacks. Whereas that Patriots' offensive line, they still allowed 2 sacks. And to do you even better than that, if you look at their, we'll get into the pressures and the numbers when we get into the keys here, but, it's just, I see some opportunity when I look at this for the Dolphins to right how that defense looks and to keep it steamrolling with the offense. I see some opportunities here. I do. And, Fred Rivera says, do the Dolphins have any healthy running backs? Yeah, Mostert's off the list, right? Like, Mostert's good to go. So Mostert's good to go. You could see some A-chain action this weekend. Chris Brooks is healthy. So we're good. We're getting healthy, right? And Rosenhaus basically told us to expect Wilson back when he's able to come off the pup. So we'll see how that works out, But we got some healthy backs. Will Mike McDaniel trust them on third downs? Will Mike McDaniel trust them? That's what this is going to come down to. So, because Belichick is game planning for that pass, and we're going to talk about it here in a bit. He's game planning for that pass after what he just saw. Ain't no way he's allowing us to put up 466. Just not happening. Now, what may hurt his chances a little bit is what we saw in the injury report about Jonathan Jones not practicing today with an ankle injury. If Jonathan Jones can't go, that's going to hurt him. So, and I'll tell you exactly why when we get into it, the keys, all right? So let's get into, let's get into the keys. Let's start off with the 3 offensive keys for the Miami Dolphins. Over 300 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Be prepared for Belichick. Now you're going to say reason. Okay. What do you mean by that? Be prepared for what? Man hasn't worked against Tua. That's what Belichick has ran. I mean, that's what we ran under Flores and Boyer. A lot of man. Tua saw a lot of variations of it. And, beat it constantly in practice. He's 4-0 against Belichick. Belichick's known as a copycat, so I've been teasing y'all with this. I want you to hear me out here. Does Belichick try to replicate what Staley did last year with the middle of the field? Dropping into more zone and rerouting wide receivers, especially after Staley went more man-heavy in week 1 and wasn't really dropping into zone a ton and wasn't really focused on taking away the middle of the field like he did last year. Does Belichick copy that? Is that Belichick's game plan? Because he's known as a copycat. I mean, hell, when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, they used Fangio's defensive plan that they had seen on tape earlier that season. So I'm wondering how they're going to do this. So, be prepared for Belichick because I think he's got something up his sleeve. He ain't letting us walk in there, put up 466, and just dash all over them. All right? I just don't see that happening. Now, secondly here, you got to find another gear with Armstead. Okay? You got to get more than 70 rushing yards. All right? Let's put that first and foremost. That's where I'm talking about find another gear. And continue to keep him clean in the pocket. But you got to find another gear with Armstead. Our pass pro, as good as it was last week, should be better. The run lanes should be wider. I'm very intrigued to see him and Isaiah Wynn next to each other tomorrow. In 2 days. I'm very intrigued to see Isaiah Wynn and Armstead open up those run lanes. I think Isaiah Wynn can find another gear with him. We know Connor Williams can find another gear with him. You got to find another gear with Armstead back. Especially if Belichick does have something up his sleeve. I mean, we've seen what Tua did last year and previous years with the flashes and such. And we always said to ourselves, imagine what he could do with a solid offensive line. Well, if they need to build off what they did last week and build off it even stronger now that Armstead is back in the lineup. 3 here, and this is where the Jonathan Jones stuff comes in here. You got to attack with speed from all levels. Okay? Speed motions, the orbit motions, the motioning at the snap. You know, you got to use your speed. You got to bring Mostert, and A-Chain better be active. You got to bring them out of the backfield. Hill, Waddle, up over the top, Berrios underneath, intermediate and deep levels with those 3 guys, and the short level, the flats with the speed coming out on the wheels and such. You just got to attack with speed from all levels here, and this is why. So the Dolphins, let's go through their top 5, offensive 40s. So you got Tyreek Hill at a 4.29 40, but we know he plays at 4.2 flat. Devin A-Chain 4.32 40, but we know he on the field he looks like he moves at a 4.2 speed. Raheem Mostert, another guy 4.32, but looks like he can move at a 4.2 speed when he's at the peak of his game. Jalen Waddle ran a 4.37, and remember he had been timed at Alabama running a 4.27, and I posted a video of him and Ruggs neck and neck doing a 40. I mean, all knew Ruggs could run a 4.2, right? And Berrios runs a 4.44. So you got 4.29, 4.32, 4.32, 4.37, and 4.44. Now, again, Devin A-Chain, Raheem Mostert, and Jalen Waddle move like 4.2 guys on speed. Now, this is where it gets interesting. With the Patriots, who's their fastest corner or defensive back? That's Jonathan Jones at a 4.33. And he did not practice today. And he might be out. And he's got a potential ankle injury, I believe it was. Now, they drafted Christian Gonzalez, right? And he runs a 4.38. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Kyle Duggar runs a 4.49. Miles Bryant, and remember, Miles Bryant, he saw coverage snaps against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in week 1. Guys, we're talking about a guy who runs a 4.62. Jabril Peppers, he runs a 4.46. I mean, their defensive backs have no chance of keeping up with our speed. I've just laid out what these guys run. And their fastest guy, Jonathan Jones, who runs a 4.33, might not even be able to go. So their second fastest guy, because I want to put this in perspective. Okay, check this one out. Jonathan Jones is the fastest guy in that secondary. He runs a 4.33. Tyreek Hill, Devin A-Chain, and Raheem Mostert have faster 40s than him. And remember, you can line up Raheem Mostert on the boundary, right? Drag him across, whatever you want to do. Slant, whatever. Screen 2. Okay, so let's go to Gonzalez. Gonzalez is the second fastest guy, 4.38. Tyreek Hill, Devin A-Chain, Raheem Mostert, and Jalen Waddle have faster 40s than him. 4.29, 4.32, 4.32, 4.37. And Berrios is just off of him by 0.06. And Berrios has a faster... Berrios ran a 4.44, and he's faster than Duggar, Miles Bryant, Jabril Peppers. So there's only 2 defenders in the secondary faster than Berrios, and one of them might be out as well. We're talking about 5 guys. Speed, man. Use it. Utilize it. This is how you're going to get Bill Belichick pulling his hair out, whatever's left of it. Is using and attacking with speed on all 3 levels. So be prepared for Belichick. He could try and mimic what Staley did last year in prime time. All right? All right? Now, not only that, find another gear with Armstead, especially in the run game, and our pass pro should be even cleaner. And you better attack with speed from all levels. All right? Now, all that said, let's get into my defensive keys and, One's going to be quite obvious for all of you, that's for sure. Stop the run, man. All right? What happened last week is not acceptable, ladies and gentlemen. All right? I don't need to see Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott out here. Ezekiel Elliott has arrived for the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson having a career day tomorrow. I ain't trying to see that. At all. All right? So, I'm not trying to have this run game because we know they like this is why they only ran for 76 yards in week 1, but they're going to come out and run against us because that's historically what they always do against us is they try to run it down our throats. But I ain't trying to there's no way they can give up 233 yards again. No way whatsoever. You got to win in the trenches, man. That's where pride alone, man. Number 2 here, you got to feast on a banged-up offensive line. Michael Onwenu, Trent Brown, Cole Strange, City Sow, out potentially. David Andrews, banged up. They only gave up 2 sacks last week. With our front, first of all, with how banged up they are, if we're not getting pressure unless it's manufactured by either play calling or scheme, again, I'm going to point my finger at the personnel. We should be getting pressure with 4 tomorrow in 2 days with how banged up that offensive line is. I ain't trying to hear no excuses. Especially, again, with Christian wanting $24 million, Siler just getting extended, Chubb getting traded for and extended. Raekwon needs a new deal. Jalen Phillips is someone who a lot of us from the national media to YouTube picked to break out. No excuses tomorrow, especially if that offensive line is banged up. Because it's not like they got Dante Scarnecchia still there game planning as the offensive line coach. He's gone. And they haven't been able to figure out the offensive line since. And then third for me, and it's a playoff feasting, you got to make Mac uncomfortable. You got to get pressure early and often to prevent him using his accuracy trait. Watch the flats because he's going to take the short stuff. But just don't let him get into a groove. Just don't let him feel comfortable because that's when you're going to see him letting his accuracy shine. Listen, he's not too accurate, but the guy, when he's on, can be accurate. And he's one of those guys where he's got to get comfortable. And when he gets comfortable, he settles in. And when he settles in, that's when he's at his most accurate. Don't let him get there. Make him uncomfortable. Get pressure. Make him not want to drop back. So stop the run, feast up on a bang-up offensive line, and make Mac uncomfortable. The opportunities are going to be there. Without Phillips, we should still, you got Ogbah. We gave Ogbah all this money. AVG wants a new contract. He can flex outside, not just stay inside. So, I'm not trying to hear excuses if Phillips ain't out there. I ain't lying. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because just like everyone expected me to go probably Tua and Herbert last week, everyone's expecting me probably to go Mac Jones and Tua this week. Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to shock all y'all a little bit here because my player matchup to watch is Tyreek Hill against Christian Gonzalez. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you why. First of all, 215 yards in week 1. Tyreek still talking smack this week. Doesn't matter if he gets doubled. He said he's still going to dominate. Now, Christian Gonzalez is going to be the fastest guy out there, especially if Jonathan Jones can't go. But when you look at last week, Christian Gonzalez got most of the coverage snaps against A.J. Brown. Now, he was targeted when covering A.J. Brown 5 times, allowed 4 receptions for 47 yards. He allowed 7 receptions on 10 targets in total between A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Kenneth Gainwell in week 1. He allowed 19 yards after the catch. He allowed 71 total yards. He allowed 10.1 yards per catch. Allowed 3 first downs, but he had a pass breakup. Now, this is their highly touted first-round rookie. He can run a 4.38. You know, they're going to test him tomorrow. They're not going to, you know, Miles Bryant against Jalen Waddle. That could be another one because Jalen's probably going to line him up, especially if Jonathan Jones can't go, right? So, but, you know, this is going to be you got a rookie who got the work a little bit last week, and now he's going up against Tyreek. Now he's going up against the best playmaker in the game. So, you know, it could be another big day on tap for Tyreek. Unless, you know, now they could have Christian on him and then have safety help over the top the whole game, thus drawing more targets to Berrios and Waddle. Sure. But, man, if he gets one-on-one with Christian Gonzalez, you got to take advantage of it because he's going to be turning him inside out with stuff Christian Gonzalez hasn't seen before. So, my player matchup to watch, veteran against rookie, one of the best receiver in the game right now, Tyreek Hill, against the first-round draft pick of the Patriots out of Oregon, Christian Gonzalez. Guys, over 325 of you in the room. Do me the favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. And let's get into this article from Barry today. And hold on a sec. Before we do, I want to because I like what Rome said there. Reek has never gotten over 100 yards versus New York, and he's 142 yards away from the all-time receiving record in the first 2 games of the season. Watch out. Man, it's for real, huh? It's for real. So, man, I like that. Good call, Rome. I like that. So, Patriots explain why Tua is underestimated. So, Tua Tagovailoa has never lost in 4 starts against Bill Belichick's Patriots, and the Patriots gave him his proper due this week. Patriots coach Bill Belichick set up Tagovailoa this week. The quarterback's played very well, and he's had tremendous production over the last couple of years. Led the league in a lot of different categories passing the ball, so they've got a really efficient guy running the offense. Cornerback Jonathan Jones told the Boston Herald, it's underestimated how good he really is. He's won. If you look at his record for how long he's been in there, 22 and 13 as a starter. He's won a lot of games. Regardless of what people say, he's won games. He's a winning quarterback. So we'll have our work cut out for us. Defensive lineman Lawrence Guy via the Boston Herald said, he has a big arm. I know a lot of people don't say that, but he does have an arm on him. And he can get out of the pocket and get it downfield. So those quick passes are there. But we have to understand there's also another threat we have to be worried about. Ooh! They are worried about off-platform throws and Tua extending. Uh-oh, NFL. Now, defensive chatter a little bit for you. What was defensive coordinator Vic Fangio's tone with his players following disappointing defensive effort in the opener? Jerome Baker said he was honest. It was one of those things where you didn't have to be angry or upset, just be honest. We understand our defense was not up to par. Sunday, we're going to come with the mindset that what we showed last Sunday is not who we are. This Sunday is going to be really different. Ooh, they're motivated. The Chargers often covered Tyreek Hill with one player, and that approach failed miserably. As Hill closed with 215 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, the Patriots could try something different. You put 2 guys on me, 1 guy on me, or 3 guys on me, I'm still going to run my route and get open, Hill said. I'm still going to dominate no matter what. See, and what they said, the Patriots could try something different. That's why I asked all y'all, is he going to try and copy what Staley did? Are we going to see the zone with the rerouting and really trying to take away the middle of the field? Coach Mike McDaniel said Terron Armstead will participate, and he did in practice for the 2nd day in a row, but his status for Sunday's game at New England hasn't been determined. Armstead missed the opener with 3 injuries, and they said we'll make the decision before Sunday's game. McDaniel was asked how much time he spends on defense each week and with Fangio overall compared to his predecessor, Josh Boyer. And he said, I'm never too busy to work together specifically with Vic. He offers different variables that can assist me doing my job. Seeing he's been a coordinator in the league since I was 12, seeing how he's a head coach, there's a lot of overlap. He's very well versed in game management. This year is different for me where I'm not the new guy. All those things lead to we have more things to discuss, and I would be foolish, man, if I didn't utilize his resources. So that was a long, drawn-out version saying I got a lot more time for Fangio than I did for Boyer. McDaniel hasn't felt compelled to warn his team against buying into the hype after 1 week because, quote, I honestly feel like they understand a one-win team is not a very good team. Last year was a big help in that understanding what happens when you have any sort of win streak. So, I mean, we've gone from when J.C. Jackson was on the Patriots after he picked him off, oh, that's who Tua is if that first read isn't there, to now Jonathan Jones, Lawrence Guy. They've been around since they've been around since JC was there. They are giving Tua his flowers. And, that highlight reel of Tua stepping up to the line of scrimmage and uncorking a deep bomb clearly hasn't been lost on defenses. They woke up and, listen, we knew left arm of God, baby. We know Tua's had that in him. And shout out to Nick Hicks and shout out to Perform for getting him to where he's at right now. It's an absolutely beautiful thing to watch this all unfold, watch it all unfurl. Man, it's just great. It is just great. It's like I say in the intro, it's a beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. That's it. So I know what people are going to ask me. Reason, what's your prediction? Last week you predicted us to win handily. Well, I'm predicting it again. I'm predicting the Dolphins 33-18. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins 33-18 on Sunday. I think, listen, I don't know what else to say. I think they're going to get it done. I think Mac Jones, he's going to have a tough day out there. You listen to what Jerome Baker just said about they got something to prove. They want to show the NFL and everyone that they're different than what we saw them be and the effort they gave on Sunday. And so, I believe, and when he says Vic Fangio was just honest, I mean, we've all seen Fangio. He's been honest. But, I guarantee there was a little fire in his voice, right? And, he's been honest, right? He warned us all about the David Long hype, right? He warned us all about trying to find that safety to complement Javon Holland. Right? So he's been nothing but honest the whole way, and I expect nothing less when it comes to his players. And that's why I don't see them running down our throats. Now do I think they're going to get 76 yards? We'll find out. But I just don't see the Patriots running down our throats. I just don't see it happening. I just don't. So in the chat, we got 34-17, 31-10, 35-17, 34-3. Is that for the Dolphins? I hope it is. 30-18, 31-21. We miss 2 extra points? No, it doesn't have to happen like that. What are you talking about, brother? Hey, you can get 3 touchdowns and 4 field goals. Right? 31-16. Pro Special says 51-17. It's time for a 50 burger. 31-17, 35-9, 51 points. Oh my God. 24-10, 27-24. 7 or 8 TDs for Tua. Yeah. 31-17 is your prediction. I'm going 33-18. 31-20, 31-24, 20-10. 28-21. 4 field goals. That's a lot of faith in Sanders. Or They just have a good red zone defense, and we get stopped inside the 10, baby. Let's go. Let's go. You know, we have to settle for 4 field goals because the run game isn't getting us over the hump. Jonathan Taylor, baby. Let's go. See? Method to the madness, baby. Come on. Rome Gray says Vic Flair will make sure that 50 burger is next week. Bro, I'm hoping it. 7 touchdowns, Brian. Oh, that's man, that's 42 points just off. What is that? No, that's 49 points just off the left arm of God. Oh, my Lord. That would be something, man. 49 points. We definitely be putting up a 50 burger. That's for sure. That's for sure. So, a couple of safety. There you go. Even better, Robert. I like the safeties. I'm going to take the safeties. All right? That's what I'm going to take. I like the safeties. Let's get some safeties on that. All right, guys. Be sure to look out for me. If anything breaks tomorrow, I'll be live. There's over 350 of you in the room. Smash that like button, please. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to be live just after 8 o'clock to get you prepped for the game on Sunday. Then after the game, it's the 5th quarter post-game panel show. Open panel for all you to come up, say what you got to say, vent about it. If we lose, celebrate, which is what you're going to be doing when we win. So, and we'll get answers on Jalen Phillips, and we'll have more answers on how banged up their offensive line is. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if Jalen Phillips is out, but so is Cole Strange, Michael Onwenu, Trent Brown, you know, I'm good. We'll get them. We'll get them. Don't worry. So, listen, appreciate all y'all coming through. 28-24 says Martina. Appreciate y'all. Your prediction, Martina. And listen, I will see all of y'all on the next one. You already know what time it is, baby. Fins up all day, every day, even beyond the grave in which we'll lay. Smash that like button on the way out. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy college football. Enjoy your Sunday. And get ready for Sunday night because we're going 2-0, baby. Let's go. Tua and O. What you know about that?